Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the channel introduction. My name is Troy Victor Smith, and today is my personal Declaration of Independence on the 4th of July. I intentionally picked to introduce the channel on 4th of July because it was symbolic, all right? This channel is called The Freedom Journey. And it's all about what we call freedom engineering. And we'll talk more about that because freedom means different things to different people. And so I always like to have my notes. And so you see me looking down, that's because I'm staying on point. He has a lot to talk about and he enjoys talking and he can ramble sometimes. That's why we're going to stay on point. So the first thing when we talk about freedom, the slogan for my organization is living life on your own terms. And obviously, each one of us has to define what that is for him or herself. And so that's why you will hear me say many times, freedom is personal. Freedom is personal. It means different things to different people. For me, I try to give it a definition that freedom is the ability to intentionally live on your terms by pursuing the desires, goals, and adventures that you consciously choose for yourself. Freedom is custom designed by each individual. There's no single freedom definition or lifestyle. Freedom looks different for each one of us, okay? That's why I say it's personal. Now, the real question is, have you ever considered deciding what freedom means to you? Have you consciously decided what freedom means to you? All right? Because again, each one of us has a different definition. Now, to talk about my journey and how did I get here? You can see he's not a young boy, so how did this man get on this channel, YouTube? All right? I was on the planet before YouTube was born. Yes, sir. I'll just put it out there. He's 62 years old, so he ain't no little young buck, okay? Now, I've spent about 40 years in corporate America from the age 19 to 59, so he has a lot of business experience, mostly in IT, system design, process management, quality control, blah, 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 all right? And I've learned how to manage projects, resources, change management, deliverables on time, and then I eventually had to ask myself a different question. What if I use everything I've learned over the course of my life to design my own life and my own company? Can I be my own best boss? Okay? Can I be my own best boss? Okay? Be your own best boss. What? So, with that said, boss, do I have a boss now? No. My last contract working was in December of 2022. So 23, 24, 25, now 26. He has been living free. Ooh, children. Going on year number 4. Now, when you hear me say children, no disrespect to anybody that's grown and independent and blah, blah, blah. It's just my euphemism for how I like to communicate. So don't be distracted about that. This channel will definitely be about everybody. He's very sensitive to share appropriate information at the different age groups. So if you hang in there, whenever you catch and see this channel, you may see a framework, a series just for your age range. So what are we talking about age categories? I have 3 children myself, 2 boys and a girl, like 32, 29, 25, been there, done that. He been married 25 years, Was together for 30 years. So the whole single, engaged, married, divorced, widow, I know all that. Divorce is just like being a widow. Your spouse just still living, but they still no longer in your life. Okay, been through all those 5 stages, so we got a lot to talk about, okay? So, I say all that to say, for my own personal journey that got me to this spot over the last, really we're gonna make it 6 months, but the build up, we'll go back to December 2022 when he had his last contract assignment. I mean, the phone just stopped ringing. He didn't do nothing different. I didn't do anything different. Life presented me a different situation. When I had never not worked since age 19, and to get up to age 59, and the phone stops ringing, I go, okay, I think it's time for you to consider retiring or reinventing yourself, I would say, all right? And so in June of 2024, I asked my children, did they want the house? I was residing in Atlanta at the time, Big A, and I had a beautiful 4-bedroom home. I had paid off my home, and so the children were off doing their own things. I was like, would y'all like to rent the house? He can travel. They was like, no, Dad, do what you want to do. I was like, bruh, you gotta tell me twice. I called that darn real estate agent that Thursday afternoon. People, we had that housewarming the next day on Friday. People, he had a contract that Monday. That house sold in 24 hours. Y'all not talking to me. I gave myself 2 weeks to get up out of that house. June 8th, I can tell you exactly. He was on a plane from Atlanta to Cancun, Mexico. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, we're going to talk more about that. So he traveled internationally for a year. I gave myself 1 entire year. This is what I'm talking about, living life on your terms. How many people in your life, traveled the world for an entire year, took a whole year vacation? Very few people. But Troy did. It was on my bucket list. Why? Because I could. And he did. Mexico to Brazil, Brazil to South Africa, South Africa to Ghana, Ghana to Kenya, Kenya to Indonesia, Indonesia to India, India to Thailand, Thailand to the Philippines, Philippines to the Hawaii, Hawaii to Seattle, Seattle to Chicago, St. Louis, back to Atlanta. Why Seattle? Because he met someone along the way in Trinidad and Tobago who said, hey, call me when you get back. Ow! And he did. So, I have literally been around the world. He's very dramatic. He likes the accents, words, syllable, as you can see, all that. Living life on his terms. Okay, let's move on. So what happened when I returned to the U.S. in June of 2025, I was looking for a second home. I didn't know if I wanted to go live in Ghana. Did I want to live in Thailand? Could it be Brazil? There were some options. And really, Accra, Ghana, and Bangkok, Thailand were on top of the list. But there are a few little things that happened in both places that I was like, nah, I don't think this is going to work. And I'm not going to go into details because everybody has their own appreciation for different geographical locations. I'll leave it just as that. And so what may not be appealing to me may be wonderful to somebody else, okay? And I've learned to respect all the different perspectives of my brothers and sisters. We'll leave it right there. So when I returned to the U.S., I went back over to Africa and went to Burkina Faso. Yeah. Stayed for about 3 weeks. My older sister came with me, stayed with me 2 weeks, and then there was a little situation there. We ain't gonna go into details. So I got his butt back on the plane and got back to America. Okay? There's a saying. It's better to be with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Did you hear what I said? He's not going into details. Okay, so once I returned to the U.S., I didn't have a plan B. And he was living in Airbnbs and making it work, all right? Then something happened in my life. In December, remember, I got back in July. August, September, and I got sick. I got malaria, I got COVID. My sister and both of us got sick. And unfortunately, in October, my sister passed. She was 70 years old. And again, I'm 62. So that was unexpected, and it's just the two of us. My mother only had 2 children. So, of course, that threw me for a loop. It took everything I had to get through that bereavement. That was October. So November, December, I was in this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, headspace, you know, when you're in bereavement. And so I just started asking ChatGPT, my AI, I call him my BDF, best digital friend, every question under the sun about life. I mean, I asked Chat everything and anything I could think of. This went on for days, weeks. It was amazing. It was amazing. And you all know something spiritual happened, because I reached a certain place in my thinking, in my knowing, that he didn't have no more questions. You know what I'm saying? That was a place where there was peace, because I had resolved a lot of issues in and of myself as I went within. That's what we call the journey within, all right? He took that journey. And when I tell you that's a wonderful thing, if you ever get to experience it, I can't even go into all the details. But I did try to write it down. There is a book. It's not published yet, but he did document his journey. And the journey gave him a gift, which I will give to society at the right time. All right, let's move on. So that was December. Then on January the 6th, remember this date, something else happened. I was watching YouTube just like you watching YouTube. The channel was Poverty to Paradise. Linnell. And she was talking about living on cruise ships on a $2,000 a month budget. I said, time out. Time out, time out, time out. Did you say $2,000? Yes, that's what she said. I'll post the video so y'all can go see it for yourself. He ain't making up nothing. I'm like the young people. I come with receipts. I love that term with the young folks. Bring the receipts, children. As the old folks would say, do you have evidence? Yes, we do. So when I got through seeing that video with you, Linnell, talking about living on cruise ship for $2,000, I said, you need to look into that. I mean, a light bulb went off in my head. Ding, 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 ding. You need to look into that. And so I began to do my research. And next thing I know, I discovered, oh, there was something to this, you know. And I began to explore building a lifestyle around continuous cruising. That will be the parallel story to our freedom journey. You're going to have this cruise line journey running in parallel on this channel, okay? It's the evidence of what the principles and things we're going to talk about. Y'all with me? Okay, now, and for me, cruising is just an expression that I choose for my housing at this season of my life. It's not everything this channel is about, okay? So should you come in through the cruise door, or come in through like one of the other philosophical doors, or whatever door, there are many levels to this channel. You'll figure it out. Okay, so when we talk about the freedom journey, that is much bigger than the cruising side, okay? Cruising towards freedom is just the doorway that helped me recognize something larger. And we'll talk about that, because I realized simply building a cruising channel, that wasn't what I was all about. I'm about documenting what I call the freedom journey. And again, that's personal. So A journey of consciously examining your life and making intentional decisions that lead you to the desires and goals and adventures you want for your life. Making decisions, testing ideas, discovering resources, navigating change, all of that, The freedom journey is about learning how to live on your terms. So my slogan, living life on your terms. Not any unnecessary stuff, not what other people have projected upon you. You decide all of that for yourself, okay? So you'll hear me talk about frameworks, and these are methodologies, steps, principles that help guide us and navigate us along the ways. And there'll be several that'll come up on this channel because we're building a curriculum. So during the journey, I begin to recognize patterns, specifically in the cruise industry. All right. And as my project management mind, I begin to organize things. And my process management, my quality, I'm bringing all my skills and abilities to the table for him. I was like, listen here. If you could work 40 years of your life for AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, Fidelity, the Federal Reserve Bank, and you have never missed a project deadline. In 40 years, you, Chocolate Man, have never missed a deadline. Why can't you do that for yourself? Why can't you project manage your own life? Why can't you redesign your own life? That was the motivation that was driving me. I said, yes, sir. I hear what you're saying. Come along with me. So, freedom requires more than desire. Okay, there's relationship, there's time, there's resources, there's health, there's energy, there's communication, there's reflection. And I began to see life as a system that could be consciously examined and intentionally designed. Keywords, intentionally designed. When I decided how I wanted to design my life, woo. So that's what we call the freedom framework. We'll go through certain basic principles of understanding. And when you get these basic principles, you can throw everything in there. You'll see. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So you will see the use of these frameworks again throughout this channel. I'm not, presenting myself as someone who's an expert and I ain't figured everything out. No, we're going to walk alongside each other. All right. People that love to comment and question and whatever, like we say, just be respectful. I had already told y'all earlier, if you below 40, you have the permission to call me Uncle T. Should you want to put a title or something on your comment, if you 40 and above, you can address me as Troy. That's protocol for my channel. Any foolishness? He ain't about foolishness. My favorite two buttons are block and delete. And if you don't like something, your favorite button is that X in that right corner. Do you hear me? He ain't gonna be doing no arguing and challenging. He too old for that, okay? So, I am the first use case of my own framework and methodology. I'm living it, I'm testing it, I'm learning from it. And I adjust as I go. So, what you will see on this channel, you're gonna see videos about cruising towards freedom. Those will be my cruise videos where I just finished 6 back to back. Okay, 1 week break between. He learned a whole lot about that, children. Okay, so when y'all see this release, I think he's on releasing 1 or 2 videos on the day of 4th of July. But I already know that boy got about 40 videos in the catalog. By the 4th of July, he ain't playing. His catalog is locked, but he ain't gonna release all that at the same time. No, that ain't how you do that. Okay, so you ain't gotta worry about content. Troy already 30 videos deep. Yes, sir. He already 30 deep. And already time released up to 50, heading towards 100. This boy's a professional. Don't get it twisted, children. I'm just telling you up front. He ain't playing. He coming out with both barrels. Boom, boom. Okay? Let's keep moving. He's rambling. Okay, the invitation. I'm not telling you, this is not about you quitting your job. This is not about you selling your home. This is not even about you being on cruise ships to a degree. Now, you will learn a lot from those frameworks. This is about freedom in whatever capacity and the definition you have for you. So my hope is that watching me consciously examine and redesign my life, may cause you to examine your own. This is all about just triggering something in other people, sharing with other people. I love to share. I love to help other people. It's just about what I'm about. When I learn things, I share with other people. And so whatever you desire, what you've accepted without questioning, what assumptions you're still living under, and most importantly, what does living life on your terms mean to you? Repeat. What does living life on your terms mean to you? Okay? So, I'm just the demonstration. I'm the journey, my choices, my discovery. And today, on the 4th of July, I made a declaration. I choose freedom. I choose consciously. I choose to live life on my term. And again, welcome to Freedom Journey. And it's going to be an exciting thing. All right? Question, comment, subscribe. Sometimes he mix up his language. He loves Ebonics. He be doing all kind of stuff. Chocolate Man, I got that from my girls in Thailand. I told you I went to Thailand. I went to Pattaya, and I went to Phuket, and I went to Bangkok. And them girls in Phuket, the massage places, Chocolate Man. Now, you know, we use a different term over here in the U.S. You ain't heard Chocolate Man, and I kind of liked it. Now, I ain't moved from Atlanta to Orlando. He ain't just chocolate. He becoming dark chocolate with this 80 and 90 degree weather down here. All right, we're going to leave it like that. I love to have fun, ramble, blah, 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 blah. So, hang in there. This is going to be a group, a community, a tribe, a club, all that. The landscape. Just got through working with my virtual company. I'm not ready to get into that. Ian already looked at his 3-year plan. I told you, he come from corporate America. Okay, wait, play. Now, can I make another video? This boy, I already told you, he 30 videos deep. And he had already talked to his future self 3 years from now, go future self. What is it that we should be working towards? And we work our way back. That's called reverse engineering. Stay with me. All right? Deuces.